What's good, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is Mark coming back at y'all again. And today, what I would like to do is give y'all my thoughts on today's music and why I don't really listen to today's music as much. And what really made me want to talk about this topic is that I saw one of my subscribers did a video about this about several days ago. And I thought it was a pretty interesting topic to talk about. And by the way, his name happened to be Young Old Soul One. And y'all be sure to check out his channel and subscribe to him because he be talking about a lot of great stuff on there, and I feel like he don't get as many viewers and subscribers like he should have. And I'm gonna leave his name down in the description box below so y'all could check out his channel and subscribe to him and everything. And I really was supposed to upload this video yesterday, but unfortunately something that came up, so I was unable to do it yesterday. But anyhow, the reason why I don't really listen to today's music as much is because I feel like music of today is very lackluster and it really don't have no substance behind it whatsoever. And it really don't have a message behind it at all. Like the only things you will hear people talk about is sex, money, hoes. People act like they about their life when they're really not about their life, especially these so-called rappers. And speaking of rap, I really don't listen to rap music at all. Like I will listen to a rap song every now and then, but for the most part, I will listen to. Well, I will mostly listen to R&B and gospel and jazz and pop and rock and other genres. Well, I listen to all kinds of music, but um, rap is not my. It's not really my favorite genre. Like I listen to, even though I would listen to a rap song every now and then, but it's not necessarily my favorite genre of music. But and another one of my least favorite genres is country. Like I could tolerate country pop, but old time western country music, I can't with it. Like I can't be rocking with it at all. But um, I know for me, like I will mostly listen to music like from the '90s and the '80s and the '70s and the '60s, even back further than that, because music back in those days had a lot of meaning and were very inspirational. Whereas music of today, you really can't draw any inspiration from it at all. And now, don't get me wrong, like you actually would have some music that are out today that's actually pretty good, but it just doesn't get as much airplay or as much recognition like it should have. Because you have a lot of garbage playing on the radio these days, and a lot of mainstream music is not as good as it was back in the day. And one of my subscribers said like you had a lot of trashy artists or artists that weren't that great even back in the '90s, but at least their music was better back then as it is today. And somebody else had also mentioned it in the comment section saying that music from up until 2005 was great, and after 2005 that's when it started to go downhill, and I totally agree. And I always told people, like, if they had a time machine, I would want to go all the way back in the '90s because the '90s is my favorite decade. One, because I'm a '90s baby, and two, you had a lot of great stuff that came out in the '90s, not just in terms of music, but you also had a lot of great TV shows and movies and video games that were out back in the '90s. And you had a lot of baby music back then too. I mean, how you think I got here? Like, how you think I got conceived? And another thing too, like with today's music, like I really don't think music of today is not something that you would want to go back 20, 30, 40 years from now and will go back and listen to it and enjoy it just like you would back in the '90s, because just like I said before, music of today is garbage. The majority of it, like you know, you really can't go back 20, 30, 40 years from now and really enjoy the music that are out today just like you would back in the '90s and the '80s and the '70s and the '60s, even back further than that, because music of today really has no substance behind it whatsoever. And you know and I think I already mentioned that I really don't listen to a lot of rap music because I really didn't start listening to rap music like up until I was about 12 or 13 years old because, you know, they had a lot of jazz and gospel music playing, around the house, from where I'm staying at. Like, growing up for me, like my dad would play a lot of jazz music growing up. And not to mention, he would also play a lot of Stevie Wonder back then. And my mom would also play a lot of gospel music as well. Like, she would play artists like Yolanda Adams and CeCe Winans, who also happens to be another one of my favorite gospel singers. And I also grew up listening to artists like Brandy and Sade and Michael Jackson and Aaliyah and people like that because those people actually make great music and you know that's basically all I wanted to say. Like, I'm really trying not to make this video long and drawn out and everything. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And all the information to my social media will be down there in the description box below. And in the meantime, I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.